As a whitetail hunter, we're all in search of that perfect rut activity or hitting it just right on your hunting trip. When you hit it when those bucks are on their feet in daylight hours chasing does. Here on Savage Outdoors, we travel all over the country chasing this rut, starting all the way up in the Dakotas, working our way through the Midwest, and now it's time to get to Texas. It's December. The rut's on. This is one of my favorite places to hunt when the Texas rut is in full swing. There is nowhere better to get on big bucks and see them in daylight hours. But here's the thing I love so much about it. They're callable. You can hit those horns together and you never know what might come walking in, or I should say running in. These bucks are so aggressive. You've got very tight buck to doe ratios, which means these bucks have to fight to breed. If they hear a fight, they're gonna come. I love the Texas rut. That's why I moved to Texas. When you hit it right, there's really nowhere else better to whitetail hunt. It's December, the rut's on. Let's get it started.
An animal, true to its ferocious nature, is savage. An untamed, uninhabitable, and unwelcoming place is savage. A relentless, fierce, wild person is savage. Takes to be a savage. The Savage Outdoors is brought to you by Savage Arms, the definition of accuracy, and Field and Stream, where traditions begin.
Uncle Randy and I are hunting here in South Texas. We're going to be hunting close to home this week. We've got the crossbow, and I'm headed out first. Going to try my first whitetail kill with a crossbow. We've got a perfect setup, lots of deer on the spy point cameras. Maybe something will come together for us, but I tell you one thing, I know the deer are here. We just got to get lucky and have one of these big bucks show up. Well, we had time this morning to get out of here and hunt some of these areas that I've been wanting to get in. This is a stand we haven't sat yet. I brought my crossbow this morning. See if I can't get my first deer with a crossbow. We had a real little spike come through here right at first light, but that's all we've seen. There's not much movement. There's no livestock in here at all. Look at these trails right here underneath this. I mean, these deer walk through here. It's just a matter of getting a chance at one. Big buck, big buck. That's a shear, that's a shear. He's coming up toward the fence right here. You're on him. Yes or no? or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? He's down. Boom. Thank goodness. Overdue for that, huh? It's my first deer ever with my 10-point crossbow. And you talk about threading the needle through the hole, that was threading the needle. I've shot 2 animals with my Wacom crossbow broadheads. Both of them died within sight of the stand. Both of them had crazy blood trails. Both of them passed through. I'm telling you, that's an amazing broadhead. Shoot it because it flies good. Fixed blade, don't have to worry about bleeding energy with a mechanical head, and it's a huge hole. You want a big hole, shoot the Wacom crossbow head. Proof's laying right over there. Look at that. Complete pass through. And there's nothing wrong with that broadhead except it's got dirt on it. Heck, the blade still looks sharp. It went through him so fast that deer didn't even know he was hit. Put that back in the quiver, wash it up, put some fresh blades on it. That stainless steel ferrule, you can reuse those things a ton of times. I mean, you can't mess them up. Nothing wrong with it. He's laying right there. I can smell him. He's all rutted up. Man, that's it right there. Look at that. Should have been a good 10. He broke that off. That's a recent break. That G3's gone. Broke his brow off a while ago. Man, that's a good deer. I've been getting some pictures of him on a spy point. He's one of the shooters. There's multiple shooters in here. Big old mature buck. That's what we're trying to do. Good way to start Texas off. My first buck of the year and my first buck ever with the crossbow. So I'm pumped up about this. This is pretty cool. Good way to kick off our Texas hunting season here. That's a beautiful buck. Heck yeah.
The Savage Outdoors is brought to you by Phone Scope. Capture, record, and share. Fog Zero. Keep your optics clean and fog free for a clear shot every time. The Flextone Ground Grutter. Don't get busted. Ground Grut 'em. Wild Game Innovations Whitetail Ale. Attraction on tap. The Land Leader. Find the best land for sale on the market today.
Uncle Randy's up this week. I've already killed my bucks here in Texas, and we weren't going to go hunting. He was going to go scout a little bit. He gets to the wheat fields where he wants to start glassing, and the buck that he wanted to try to hunt is out in the field chasing does. He calls me, says, "Get down here, bring the rattling horns." I grab the gun, grab rattling horns, and head down the road, and I pull up to the field, and he says he went into the woods right there. Randy knows right where the deer is. We're going to go set up and see if we can't put the horns together. This is a very small patch of timber. There's a good chance we can get his attention, and maybe this buck will show himself and Randy can get a shot. This is a big deer. Let's see what happens.
Got out here at daylight, spotted a big buck out here on this big green field. Going to go down here and try to rattle him up. I can't see the deer. I can't see him. Okay, here he comes.
Our first setup's perfect. We hit the horns together, and I mean, Randy does it just right, because this buck jumps right over the fence, comes right up to us, and I've got the tree in the way, and then I can see the deer, and Randy can't see the deer. And we're playing this game back and forth. Uncle Randy and I get a little bit heated at times when we hunt together. It's all in good fun, and at the end of the day, we're just trying to get it done. And when I could see him, Randy couldn't. When he could see him, I couldn't. We were both frustrated. This buck gets away. We thought our hunt was over. We're literally kind of walking back toward the truck, glass out in the wheat field, and there's a big buck out there. In fact, this buck might be bigger. We're gonna see if we can't put something together and maybe get in rifle range.
There's a big buck out here in this green field. He's about 300 yards out. I've got a brush pile about 150 yards down here. I've got to cut the distance for this slug gun. Coming right down the edge at us. And he snuck up on us. Man, he's coming straight at us. He's coming down the edge of the field. He's coming straight at us. I can't shoot him at that angle. He's gotta wait till I gotta wait till he hits the broadside. Are you on him? He's gonna turn. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a nice buck. I tell you, if he'd have gotten any closer, though, I'd have shot him with the bow if I'd had it. Man, I couldn't believe how he just kept coming straight out of this field. Well, down here in South Texas, we don't ever use a slug gun, but we was rattling in these trees and we knew the shot was going to be close. We're usually bow hunting in this area right here, but we decided to bring the shotgun out, do a little bit of rattling, and it worked out great. Shotgun range, nothing better than that. We dropped out here in the field. Let's go check this buck out. Well, I tell you, there ain't a whole lot of ground shrinkage on this one right here. This is a beautiful buck. Gun's cleared. Man, I tell you, we don't get to do a whole lot of hunting for ourselves here in South Texas, but every now and again, holidays do come around. It's Christmas Eve. We got to go out this morning. The area that we usually hunt in down here, we bow hunt. But this morning, I said, hey, let's do some rattling instead. So instead of taking the bow, we took the shotgun. Made the right call. We had one come in real quick like. I was on him, Mike wasn't. Mike was on him, I wasn't. And it just didn't work out. So we rattled a little bit longer, and then we had to leave. As we was leaving though, we came out to this big green field right here, and lo and behold, about 300 yards out, there he was, just standing. So we had to cut the distance, about 150 yards, and all of a sudden I got down, and the deer starts running straight at us. He got within 28 yards, turned broadside. Could have done it with the bow, but the Savage shotgun done it anyhow.
This is why I love hunting in Texas during the rut. You never know what you're gonna see. You don't know what's gonna happen. And with these tight buck to doe ratios, they're just a lot of fun to hunt because you can call them, you can rattle, you can grunt, you can snort wheeze and be successful at it. And I just love hunting Texas. Really the reason I moved here was for hunting whitetails. We had a great week of hunting. I was able to kill my first buck ever with a crossbow. Uncle Randy goes out scouting and goes into hurry-up mode on his hunt. Calls me, says, get down here. The buck I want to hunt is in the field. He's chasing does, and I just watched him go into the woods. We get there, we rattle, and it all comes together perfect. It's not the buck he saw go in, but a big buck comes right to us. And then Uncle Randy and I and Sue on our arguing that we like to do in the woods sometimes. When I could see him, he couldn't. When he could see him, I couldn't. It was both of our faults. We just couldn't get it done, and we were frustrated. We're literally walking back to the truck, and Randy gets another opportunity. We see a big buck out in the field. We stalk in there, and we get lucky. He turns and comes right to us. Randy makes a perfect shot with the slug gun, the Savage 220 in Texas with a slug, and he kills a great deer. Just rounded out a great week of hunting here in South Texas, and like I said before, this is why I love hunting the Texas Rut. Thanks for watching Savage Outdoors. We'll see you next week.
This segment of Savage Outdoors is brought to you by Evolved Harvest Premium Forage Seed. This is not your row crop seed bought at a co-op. This forage seed doesn't die once it's nipped. Evolved Harvest continues to grow all season long, producing more groceries per acre and ultimately more deer on your land to hunt.
Sound pretty good. Battle Bones from Flexstone Game Calls. The rut's on. Time to get aggressive out of the tree stand and call in that big whitetail. You know, having a regular set of rattling antlers, you got brow tines you got to cut off. You're always busting your knuckles. Look, as tight as I put these together, my knuckles can't hit, they can't bust. When it's cold and your hands are cold, that hurts. Battle Bones from Flexstone Game Calls, and they sound good. Call in that big whitetail and good luck this fall. Sound pretty good.
The Savage Outdoors is brought to you by Savage Arms, the definition of accuracy. Field and Stream, where traditions begin. Bad Boy Buggies, Bushnell Optics, Hunter Safety System, Spy Point and most innovative trail and action cameras, True Glow, 10-point crossbows, Conquest Synths, Whack-'em Broadheads, Elite Archery, the world's most shootable bow, Can Cooker, Field and Stream, Fusion Ammunition, tough, accurate, lethal, Thermacell, Nature Blinds, Pete Shoe Dryer, and Raptor Razor, the ultimate field dressing knives.